Hey, what's up YouTubes, and welcome back to Let's Play StarCraft Remastered. Apologies for the short video last time, but I will probably be uploading this one directly after the last one, so no worries. Anyway, we're heading off into Terran Mission 7, the Trump Card.
Commander, our position has been discovered. As of 2 hours ago, a large Confederate strike force arrived on Antigua Prime and established a base camp within our defensive perimeter. Arcturus Mengsk is calling a meeting.
Greetings. I know you're all concerned about the Confederate strike force. But first, we have a grave matter to discuss. It seems our data disks didn't hold weapon designs after all. Lieutenant Kerrigan will explain.
You all know that the Confederates run a program for psychically gifted humans, training them to be ghosts. Those running the program found that the Zerg are attuned to the psychic emanations of ghosts.
So the Zerg are here for you, darling? Huh. This keeps getting better and better.
Shut up. There's been a lot of secret Confederate research surrounding ghosts and the Zerg. What we stole was a small but critical piece of the puzzle. Designs for a transplanar psionic waveform emitter. The emitters broadcast the neural imprint of a ghost, but at a much greater magnitude. These things reach across worlds.
The Confederacy used these psi emitters to lure the Zerg into isolated containment areas. Your colony, Mars-Sara Commander, was one such location.
What are you saying?
I'm saying the Zerg are a secret weapon developed by the Confederacy. I'm saying you were all subjects of a Confederate weapons test. Just as they destroyed Core Hall with nuclear weapons to establish dominance a generation ago, they would use the Zerg to put an end to their other rivals. Only this time there'd be no outrage. Who could suspect the aliens were their creation? No, they'd be lauded as heroes for coming in and destroying the Zerg. It's time the Confederacy paid for its crimes, and I know just the way. Lieutenant Kerrigan is going to plant an emitter at the Confederate base camp. Commander, you will provide her with an escort. When the Zerg arrive, they'll break the blockade for us and we'll make our escape. Now, get moving.
Alright, so I have a love-hate relationship with this mission.
I just don't think anyone deserves to have the Zerg unleashed on them.
I know you have personal feelings about this.
And the reason for that is I found this mission kind of dull,
Carry out your order, Lieutenant.
but
Yes, sir.
now that I've actually got some knowledge about build orders, this is the first Terran mission where you are capable of doing a proper mech build, or as close to a proper mech build as you can get in Brood War, which is really exciting. Because Terran mech kicks ass. Yeah, so we're gonna lose this to the siege tank. That's why I pulled the buildings back right away.
SCV, good to go, sir. I read you. Affirmative.
So what we're gonna want to do here is basically ignore the barracks and just go for factories immediately.
Base is under attack.
SCV, good to go, sir.
Go, go, go. Outstanding.
Reporting for duty.
Probably just gonna want a bunker over here.
Right away, sir.
Hopefully that's a decent
Can't
spot.
build it. Something to the water scout.
Oh, please.
I read you. Affirmative.
Get out of the way, silly Marines. That's the thing, you gotta babysit everything here. The units in Brood War are so dumb.
Transmit orders.
Which is fine. It's part of the game.
I read you.
That's the crazy thing about Brood War. It's just got such a crazy... Well, saying crazy twice in the same sentence. It's got a pretty insane barrier to entry, just because you have to do stuff like this. You've gotta micromanage everything like crazy just so you can
Right away, sir.
basically play the game at a base level.
Complete.
So what I'm going to want to do here is get lots of vultures, siege tanks, and Goliaths.
Order scout.
And I'm pretty sure this mission is very, very easy if you are able to do that. So science facility, that means we can actually get +3/+3. on our units. Probably going to want to keep a couple vessels around. I don't need to get any of the upgrades for them, which is nice. Lets me save money.
Minerals.
Roger that. SCV good to go,
Not
sir.
minerals.
Right away.
But yeah, the real highlight of this map is you finally get to use siege tanks, which are, I'd say, the signature unit of Terran. Just because they have such insane range and such powerful powerful attacks with their siege mode weapon. I'm just getting some defenses up early. I can probably stick Kerrigan in one of the bunkers. Yeah, I can stick her down here.
Orders, Captain. Orders received. Affirmative.
So the one thing about this map is this is the first map where it's like, okay, you probably need to have to expand because you only get 5 mineral patches here, which is really, really low. And you get a decent base over here, but you have to take it, which is kind of cool.
Base is under attack.
So these first attacks will be pretty easily held
Sir. Right away, sir.
by our static defenses.
Affirmative. Roger that. Finished.
I probably don't need too many more SCVs.
Not enough minerals.
So what we're going to want to do is start building siege tanks.
Not enough minerals.
SCV
The only
good to go,
difficulty
sir.
with going a mech build on this map is you're kind of limited, because mech you want to have like 3-4 bases if you want to properly produce out of enough factories, but fortunately the opponent doesn't have enough stuff for it to be that much of a detriment. So what I'm going to do, I guess, is build just stuff out of one factory for now. Get mines first, and then get siege mode. I can pump out some vultures in order to get a bit of a gas bank.
Affirmative.
Yeah, I can use my scimeter.
Base is under attack.
Oh. I like how it gives you the
Add-on complete.
tip right when the wraiths are about to come in.
Complete.
That's actually pretty good.
Yes, sir.
I also really like the timing that I had there, where my comsat finished right as I needed to scan.
Job finished.
Research complete.
I read you. Affirmative.
At least it starts you out with an eBay, which is nice.
Right away, sir. I read you.
Okay, we got turrets there, that's fine. I don't need to upgrade anything. I just wanted to get marine range just to help with the bunkers. But now I can get some mineage going here.
What do you want?
Job finished.
Something on your mind?
Because, as we saw a couple missions ago, mines are extremely powerful and can just take out entire attacks for free.
No problem.
Because the computer isn't smart enough to try and scout ahead with vessels and all that stuff to wipe out your mines before they send their units to them. So I'll get some vehicle, weapons, and armor.
Research complete.
Something on your mind?
I don't know if it's a good idea to get too many of those, because they're pretty expensive. But the thing is,
Sir.
the higher base attack you have on your vehicles, or like on your weapons, the more weapon upgrades give you. Like, for example, Marines only get +1 attack from +1, but, you know, siege tanks in siege mode, I think, get +3 damage per weapon upgrade.
Orders received.
Something on your mind?
Yes, sir.
Because once you hit a certain threshold in a unit's damage, it will increase even more.
What do you want?
So while we shore up defensively here,
Roll out.
and I screw up my mines here, not laying them quickly enough,
Sir. Something on your mind?
we're just going to try and build up a big army of units.
Something on
It
your
is quite
mind?
risky to do this build, yes, but I think it's fine
Affirmative.
as long as we're able to retain our units.
I read you, sir.
And with mech,
I'm going.
as you might guess, the real linchpin unit is the siege tank.
I'm going.
They cost a lot of money, they increment out really, really slowly from the factories.
I dig.
The vultures, on the other hand, are very expendable because for
I'm going.
Terran mech is with a lot of high-tech armies, your limiting factor is gas, and vultures cost no gas. So, as you'd imagine, they're fairly cheap. See, I'm basically out of gas, but I have a ton of minerals still. And since I'm going purely mechanic units here... alright, all these vultures are out of mines.
Additional supply depots required.
Oh boy, we're supply blocked. Not even looking.
Add-on complete.
Which is pretty terrible.
Additional supply depots required.
We're just going to want to keep building up. Building up nice and slowly. What I'm going to want to do is go over here and slow push, so I can use the vessel to spot for the siege tanks, because one thing about siege tanks is they can shoot a lot farther than they can see, so they need a spotter in order to get the maximum range out of them. I believe their max range is something like 12 game units, which is by far the highest in the game.
Orders, sir. Move it.
Like even higher than Guardians, which are siege units.
I read you. Destination.
So when I get a bigger complement of siege tanks here, I'm going to want to,
Upgrade complete.
I'm going to want to slowly push out.
Oh, is that it?
See, I feel nice and secure here because I've got mines lining every single pathway, and remember, the objective is to only get the SCV over to here. But granted, that's in the heart of the Confederate base, so, like, this is an idea of what we're up against. We gotta go through here. Yeah, and there's a battle cruiser. There's their command center. One thing I always did was wipe out their base for fun. But I really don't need to do that.
Sir. Oh, is that it?
I read you. Orders, Captain.
So, I'm going to want to build a command center, because soon we're going to have to Maynard our SCVs over there.
Orders received.
Maynard just means to transfer your workers from A to B.
All right, bring it on.
And I think the reason it's called Maynard is there's a pro gamer named Maynard who kind of popularized that, because, you know, back in the very old days, the concept didn't exist until someone figured out, hey, you can actually do this.
Job finished.
I don't want to lay too many mines there. I don't want to manor block my own CC. I think I already did, actually, now that I think about it.
No problem. Yeah, I'm going.
See, look at that. I just killed 150 minerals worth of marines with 150 minerals worth of vultures, and that was just with 2 mines.
Oh, is
Those
that
between them, the vultures now have
it? Ready to roll out.
they now have 4 more mines, and they have their base,
I
like the
read
base
you,
unit.
Sir.
So the vulture already paid for itself, mineral-wise.
Your forces are under attack.
Oh, that's a dead vulture.
Insufficient Vespine gas.
Yeah, see, coming out of 3 factories is already difficult. I have to get vultures out of some of these. I haven't even started building Goliaths yet.
Identify target. Move it.
Oh, I got a tank.
Roll out.
I'll take it.
Two, sir.
See, that's why mines are so
Additional
effective.
supply depots required.
Job finished.
What I need to do is, there we go. I got my
Orders, Captain.
shift keys there. So this command center, I'm going to want to... No, I have to kill this one mine here.
All right, bring it on.
So I'm going to want to kill this.
Yeah, ready to roll out. No
Job
problem.
finished.
And I'm going to want to land this here. Or I
read you,
could kill this
sir.
other mine.
No problem.
Right here. There we go. So now I can get my command center over here.
I read you, sir. Yeah, I'm going. I dig.
That wasted too many mines. They need to be strung out, kind of, in order to be most effective.
No problem.
There we go.
Oh, is
Slay
that
the
it?
mines out. And we're good to go.
Complete.
Yeah? No problem. Yeah?
So now I'm going to want to move my tanks over to here.
Yes, sir. Delighted to, sir.
Get my comp set, number 2, hotkey that.
On your mind?
So press F3, go over to here. Basically, if you hit Shift, and you hold down Shift and then hit F3 3, 4, or 5, it hotkeys that part of the screen. That's the one thing I was mentioning a few episodes ago. Something that I wish I remembered to do.
What do you want? We have you on visual.
So I can just go here and siege 2 up here.
Complete.
Yes, sir. Proceeding. All right, bring it on.
Your
See, we're
forces are
nearly
under
we're nearly dry here.
Orders received. Job finished. Affirmative. Roger that. Right away, sir. Affirmative. Roger that.
Ready to roll out.
Oh, what are you doing, siege tanks? What are you doing?
Identify target. All right, bring it on. Absolutely.
That's not where I wanted to go.
Receiving headquarters.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Let's see, build the turret
Orders
here.
received.
And if you want to be really crazy with mech, you can
Orders
push out
received.
with
Affirmative.
turrets.
Right away, sir.
I think... Oh, we're out of minerals. Darn. Good thing we expanded. As the Great White Raw said, first we make expand, then defense it.
Not enough minerals.
SCP good to go,
Not
sir.
enough minerals.
I read you.
Which is
Job finished. Right away, sir.
quite valuable advice if you think about it.
Orders received. Job finished.
See, now we've got the gas income to
Orders received.
kind of support it. Like, 3 factory is fine.
Not enough minerals.
Bring it on. Destination. Absolutely.
So I'm basically covered just fine here.
Ready to roll out. No
Oh,
problem.
I forgot I even had a vulture there.
Yeah, I'm going.
So I can get some plating going on.
All
Not
right,
enough
bring it
minerals.
on.
Yeah, I'm surprised I'm actually out of minerals right now.
Yes, sir. Moving.
The important thing is you want your tanks to be spread out so the tanks can cover each other. Like, soon I'll be moving...
Identify target.
If I want to push forward, I'm going to want to have the vultures in front, because the vultures can tank the damage, early on at least.
Oh,
And I've got mines for the vultures, so I can actually aggressively push out with these.
ready to roll out. Proceeding. Yeah.
I think I need to unsiege this and move it. Yeah, I do.
Moving. Yeah.
So we just move these guys out.
What do you want? No problem. Oh, is that it?
Goliath online.
What do you want? Yeah. Ready to roll out, sir.
I'm going to need more Goliaths.
Your forces are
Absolutely
under
need
attack.
more Goliaths.
Yeah. I dig. Oh,
Because now we're just running out of room.
Report for duty. Affirmative. Orders, Captain.
Alright, so everything's going pretty well so far.
yeah.
Goliath online.
I don't know why I had a vulture out here. Oh, I was laying mines.
Yeah, I'm going. I dig. Transmit.
See, this
orders.
SCV is pretty well covered.
Something on your mind? I dig.
And the reason why I want turrets is so I can
What do you want?
get adequate defense there.
Base is under attack.
Finished. Yes, sir.
Because now this turret's going to finish, and I'll be able to kill the Wraith. Because the problem is with Tank Vulture, your units can't shoot up. So,
Your forces are under attack.
I dig.
so I can just lure these guys back.
Problem. Something on your
Come on,
mind?
come into the turret. There you go.
Right away, sir. I can't build that.
I read you, sir.
And we can just push out a little bit more with our spider mines.
That it?
Not enough forces are under attack.
I read you, sir. Yeah, I'm going. Identify target destination.
Job finished.
One pro tip is you can actually double click your siege tanks.
Upgrade complete.
And if you double click the siege tanks, then it only automatically selects the siege tanks that are in that current mode.
Identify target.
So by double clicking a tank mode tank, it only double clicks the tank mode ones,
Moving.
which is super duper handy.
Bring it on. Delighted to, sir. Destination moving. Yes, sir. Oh,
And now I can send these Goliaths out there. So we're making some good headway here. Just need to keep making turrets. Since there aren't really any melee units, I don't have to worry about building supply depots with this. But if you want to disrupt unit pathing, you can always build some supply depots.
The base is under attack.
Because now I got these Goliaths to deal with that. Now I can unsiege these, and just creep them forward.
Your forces are under attack.
Job's finished. Reporting for duty.
Build more turrets there. They're nice static ways to have to be able to deal with wraiths. So I can just creep these tanks forward and keep advancing our units. This is a really poorly executed mech push because I have about 100 less APM than I need to do this properly. But you kind of get the idea. You just build these mechanical units and it's just a slow and painful way to kill your opponent. I heard it go somewhere. So now I can get my SCV and send him into victory. Yeah, see, I've got this really long creeping attack. And if I wanted, I could just take out their whole base, but I don't need to. And my tank line is pretty well protected. Like from here, I've got missile, like I got, you know, missile turrets and my vessel and spider mines defending it. A really strong counter push could do it, but yeah, there you go.
Just promise me we'll never do anything like this again.
We will do whatever it takes to save humanity. Our responsibility is too great to do any less.
And yeah, this is why mech is just so satisfying when you completely roll over an enemy like this. I mean, I had a pretty ridiculous bank. I could have macroed a lot better, but there's really no real need to when you have enough units to just push out like this. What I did need was more factories because I think I was a bit careless with the vultures. But yeah, this is the first of a few missions where I can do nice, fun little mech pushes. And yeah, a lot of people don't like the mission coming up, but I really do, so I'm looking forward to next episode. So, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.